Welcome to Eyes Open on November 2020. It's been a little while since we've done this. Julie, I was at your energy class in Salt Lake a few weeks ago talking to some of your students and telling them that I thought we were kind of done with podcasts. And then, of course, you come out of the blue and say, nope, we're going to start a whole bunch. We've got a whole series coming. And so keeping people on their toes, just as always.
Well, the funny thing is yeah, we hadn't talked about it for a while, and we haven't done, I think we've done like one or something in 6 months or something like that, right? It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I can't even remember. And then there's been a lot going on in both of our personal lives, and quite honestly, it's been a nice break. I think for both of us, we were getting pretty burned out with, I know I was getting burned out with a lot of the work I was doing for GTRF and clients and things. And so
Right, yeah. You mentioned something at your last class about a time of regrouping, refocusing, rededicating, recommitting, and that
yeah.
just seems to be the sort of the pattern, and that actually, I was thinking about those comments you made this morning. That's almost what this whole COVID experience is for me, to be home a little bit more, to not be going to church and things like this. It's been a time of regrouping and just recentering my life. And so, yeah.
So there are some benefits, even though the dark side's behind it. Like always, the light side will take what's good from what we can on any of the opposition. And I'm glad to hear you've been able to rest up and have some more time with your family. I've been just as busy as ever because I work out of my car a lot of the time and travel with work and with all the changes going on, in my personal life. So, which I want to address first thing. So I don't know, is there anything you want to say first off, Eric? We kind of briefly discussed a few things I want to touch on today, but I don't know that we're going to go into a lot of detail on those. I just wanted to cover, quite a few topics. So.
No, I think you should dive in. I'm just here to support you in any way you see fit. So, yeah, what's been on your mind?
Okay. Well, I've seen Envision for a long time, and I've heard from the other side for a long time some changes coming in my life, and just didn't know how those were going to play out or when. And those of you that have read my books or listened to my podcast might know a little bit about what I'm talking about, but I've never disclosed what that actually looked like or meant in detail. And I'm not going to do that today other than to say that I have fled to the wilderness. As of October 29th, I left Kansas and fled to the wilderness and arrived at my new location, new place of residence on October 30th. And so for those of you that are familiar with my message, that is a marker. It's a huge marker. And so I'm just going to put a flag out there on that one. If you haven't listened to our podcast on the Julie Rose Show, I suggest that you do. We've got over 100. And we just re-released the first 20 this week. And so that's kind of an announcement there, and to let people know that we've hit a huge marker in the month of October. I know we're right on track because I was severely beat up by the adversary and very physical attacks for the first 2.5 weeks that I was on my new location. I am in a safe house. And so for those of you that are concerned about me, I will say more in my Zoom classes, but in a public setting like this, I'm not going to go into detail with what's going on in my life. I'll just say that we're going to do some podcasts. It's taken me a little time to get to regroup and to recover from family crisis, to be able to do this podcast and to plan the future podcasts that I've seen, envisioned, and heard about for a long time now. So having said that, I'd like to do some future podcasts on abuse, escaping abuse and cutting abuse patterns, healing from abuse and clearing abuse energy. That's one podcast. We did a brief one on Julie Rose Show. We're going to do one on Eyes Open. Also grief related to divorce, grief related to the loss of a loved one, whether it's a child through miscarriage, abortion, or any other kind of death for a loved one in childhood, death of a spouse, death of a parent, death of friends and other family members. We're going to do some podcasts on that, specifically on murder and those who've been victims of murder. And we're going to tie that into some of what I see with Chad and Laura Daybell. I'm going to detail on some of that. That'll be of interest to some of you that need to clear energy on Chad Daybell. And what I see there, I've shared a lot with the media. I've probably done 100 hours of media since last January, February of 2020. There's more for me coming in 2021. Like I've mentioned in some of my posts and in the Zoom class, as well as in the October 24th Salt Lake class. The dark side has their Agenda 21 that ties into the UN Covenant of Death, that falls in place with their Agenda 30. And the light forces have their Agenda 21 too. We're going to flip that energy on them. I'm not going to disclose too much of the war plan other than to say that we do have an agenda, and me fleeing to the wilderness is a huge part, or I guess you'd call that the kickoff, leading us into 2021. So stay tuned for more of that. Like I said, I've done a lot of media, and most of that has not been released to the public, although I have considered those clearing sessions for people on the other side of the veil. And so I'm going to do several podcasts related to Chad and Lori. It's time for me to go clear some more of that and go public with what I've shared with the media, or at least some of what I've shared with the media and the FBI that has not been released to you. I have given them fair play, fair chance for a year to release what I've told them, to help you and others see the truth of what went on with Chad and Lori and what's still going on. And most of them have chosen not to deliver those messages. We do have some media that I've done coming up on December 20th. There's also some media that'll come after the first of the year with 4 different groups. I don't have, with the contracts I've signed, I don't have permission to go into what they are, but just stay tuned. There'll be more media there, and just recognize if you would like to know from my own mouth what I said, not just the clips that they put on there, then come back and listen to these podcasts. It'll help you clear energy and hopefully give you more clarity on what's actually been going on that I understand on this side of the veil and the other side of the veil. So I also want to address October 24th class. For me, it was an awesome class. We had a great turnout of a couple hundred people, and cleared a lot of energy. Hopefully those that came learned. We had a lot of first timers, a lot of people that were overwhelmed, didn't know what the heck I was doing, and that's expected. It's about what I thought. And as many of you know, we had those that did not abide by our rules, and they came in and illegally recorded me, both audio and visual recording. Now, I thought about pursuing legal action, but quite frankly, that's Lucifer's tactic. He wants me to waste time and energy on doing that. I will say that I saw in vision over a year ago when I booked the Salt Palace that we would have these people come in. I actually got visuals of who they were. So it's no surprise to me that they did it. And I allowed it to happen. And here's why. Because they're free publicity for me. And I don't care that they released it to the public, and I don't care that people mock me or don't understand me. I hope people hear me when I say that. That does not mean that I'm going to let this happen again. It may or may not. If it does, nothing's coincidental. It's not ruffling my feathers. We are going to tighten security measures because I want to be safe on stage. I was promised I'd be safe when I was on that stage, and I'll be safe every time, but we are going to heighten our security. And I'm bringing in some top-notch guys that have worked for Glenn Beck and some others. So that is your warning. I will pursue legal action if I have to, but quite frankly, those people are a waste of my time. Right. But I want to thank them because of what they exposed, I became more popular. So popular that somebody dressed up like me on Halloween. Isn't that awesome?
Congratulations.
You know you're famous when someone dresses up like you on Halloween, and you know you're even more famous when they do it to mock you. And what's even better is I hate Halloween because it's Lucifer's Christmas. So it totally let me know who those mockers are working for, which means on this side of the veil and the other side of the veil, we were able to identify more people that are against the mission I have. So my hat's off to you, ladies, and anybody else that decides they want to make fun of me. Doesn't hurt my heart. Nothing. I had a good laugh on Halloween. You know, the best part was is that I had fled from my home in Kansas on Thursday, and got to my destination, my safe house, on Friday night, and then Saturday on Halloween, I get these pictures, and all these people, my staff, are sending me these pictures of what's going on, and all the video, illegal videotaping comes out that weekend. The energy was insane, but I got to tell you, had all these staff members and people freaking out, sending me these sad cry faces. Oh, they're making fun of you, and I was like, I was laughing so harder. Like legit, when I saw that they were dressing up like me, I was laughing because I saw that in video. I don't know, like video time in my head in night vision and then day vision, probably 6 months ago. And it was so validating to me. It was exactly what I needed on Halloween. It was perfect. And so their attempt to like hurt my feelings or make fun of me actually totally backfired, because it was just exactly the comic relief that I needed that weekend. And so thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks to those people.
No, I'm
Yeah,
glad you can
it's kind
take
of
it in
fun.
stride. That's good. You have a mature outlook on it.
Yeah,
It's not
sure.
like they really are going to hurt anything. I do think it's going to help, if anything, and definitely not
Yeah,
going to hurt the mission. If anything else, it's just and more of the sifting process, which we've been in for years, right? So
yeah,
it's no big surprise. So,
yeah, yeah. But I legitimately did laugh like all day long on Halloween. I would, because I don't look that stuff up. I'm not on Facebook, as you and other people like manage my social media for me, and so
right.
I would never even know about it, except that I have a team of people that look out for me like that. And it really was so funny to me. Like I, I just needed it. It's funny. So that's what the light side does, right? You take this opposition and you use it to propel forward. And anyway, then I was just thinking, like, gosh, I've got other good costumes coming for my class in January. Maybe I'll make it so big that they won't even wait till Halloween to dress up like me, and they'll just do it. Anybody, any takers? I got some good costumes coming. For those that don't know, these costumes, these outfit changes, are because they reflect some of my past lives and the time periods in which I lived. Okay, so I'm clearing energy for myself on past lives, as well as for those that knew me then, or for people that lived in those times. So that's what those outfits are, and it's just funny to me. Like I have been Native American, I have been Hawaiian, I have been Jewish, I have been I've been a pioneer, I've been English, right? All these different probations in different places on the planet. And so that's why I was using poi balls and things. And because as a girl, I lived in Hawaii. And so they're making fun of the poi balls. And I was like, it's so terrific. Anybody that sat in my class would have known the example of why I was using poi balls. And so anyway,
Right.
I hope those that are curious will just come to class on January 30th. We've got some good stuff coming that'll help them clear energy
Well,
and learn some things.
for what it's worth, I mean, I was in attendance and I found the whole thing very enjoyable. I found the costumes, and I knew what you were attempting to do with that, and I think it was effective. Um, and it was helpful to me because I also lived in some of those times, and I've heard very positive feedback from many of your other students, and so
Yeah.
that was a very touching, actually a very touching part of your class for me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mm.
Well, we're going to get ready because I plan to rock out again. Some people were making fun of me rocking out and things like that, or whatever you want to call that, when I was up on the stage. And I did. I purposely play certain things, and we had some great videos that our team put together. And I just want to thank everybody. We have a great team, and we had a staff it was like 36 people to pull that off. And so I just want to thank all of them publicly for their work and their help. Um, and it really is a team effort, right? So I'm so thankful. So having said that, we have a Zoom class coming up, group Zoom class on November 30th. That's a Monday night from 6 to 8 p.m. It's 2 hours, 6 to 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Right now we've got 60 people signed up for that, and I have room, I think, for 100. So we have plenty of room if anybody wants to sign up between now and November 30th. And you can go to my Acuity page for that. We will have more coming. I think we've got some more in December. I can't remember right now, but I think we have another 1 or 2 in December. And then we also have the in-person class, like I said, January 30th. It's a Saturday. Registration starts at 9. Class starts at 10. We have an hour lunch break at noon, and we finish up at 5.
Do you
So
on that? Do you have any concern with the COVID stuff if they're gonna shut that down?
Slightly.
Yeah.
But my instruction and my feeling, I'm going to follow my heart. My feeling is we book it. And what's the worst thing that happens? The worst thing that happens is they don't let us have it. And I plan for another one in March. And we transfer everybody that signed up in January to the March one. And if they keep doing that to us, I'm not going to offer refunds because I'm going to do Zoom classes. So we'll just let people, do like 2 Zoom classes. If they sign up for an in-person and they can't come to the in-person because of COVID, then they can take 2 Zoom classes. So that's how I'm working. I've got a backup plan for backup plan. That's how it works. So yeah, I'm not concerned one bit.
Okay.
We
Cool.
do have new COVID restrictions that were not in place for this last class. So people have to bring a mask, and like we did last time, bring lots of water to drink and lots of snacks. You don't have to wear your mask as long as you're drinking water and eating. And part of the class is that you need to be eating and drinking throughout the class anyway. And so, so we'll have some paperwork that we have to do that we didn't have last time and things like that. But it's not a big deal. Not a big deal. So
Fair enough.
yeah, I'm excited about it. I've got some. I've always loved to dress up. Like I don't like Halloween, but I love dressing up. And so this just gives me an excuse to bring out some more of my personality, that people don't know. So it's kind of fun for me.
I've seen some of those dress up pictures from your college days, and I'm wondering if maybe we should flash some of those on the internet. What do you think, Julie?
Sure. You could show the ones. We may even have it out there. My 40th birthday, I held a hosted a party at myself with a bunch of girlfriends. There were like 10 or 11 of us at my birthday that I had at my house when I turned 40. And we just did like an 80s party, and I borrowed like a rocker wig from one of my friends and wore a leather jacket or pleather shirt or something. Like this is just part of what I do. So people just gets more weird. Eric already knows I like wigs. I like to, it's just fun, probably because I get bored with the same old, so
yeah.
Anyway, so we're gonna do that.
You just gotta be
like
yourself,
I said, right. And it's all part of myself, like kind of fun. So what's interesting is I had part of the intent of doing that too, is that my energy changes. All of us, our energy changes when we wear different clothing, different colors, we have different hairstyles, things like that, how we do our makeup. Those with spiritual gifts to be able to see auric colors and layers and different parts of the energy system, the cosmic layers and things like that. Part of the dressing up and the music is I wanted those people that had those gifts to actually be able to have more discernment and to practice those gifts too. And I had a really good feedback with that. People that were able to see different parts of my system and, even some of my past probations, what I look like, my face changes and stuff like that. So that's kind of cool. Yeah.
Cool.
That's what gets into the weird stuff, Eric. Oh, it's so weird. It's
I don't know.
I love it.
I've seen weirder for sure. So oh well.
And anymore, when people say I'm weird, I'm like, is that a challenge? Like, is this a challenge?
Yeah.
You're challenging me to be weird because you don't even know how weird I can be. So anyway, having said that, like I do want to do another class the end of March, depending on how things go and what our numbers are for January, and even then in June. But I'm going to offer some deals at those classes and discounted rates. And usually the class is $475, but we have an early bird special for $300 that includes 7 hours. And you bring your own lunch. So you can check out all of that. You can go to julieroprepare.com, and there's my Acuity scheduling page and the link on there. And you can also see private sessions for lessons or just personal sessions to clear energy. I help clear energy on abuse, addiction, all kinds of addiction, any kind of satanic ritual abuse or other types of abuse, emotional, mental, spiritual, physical, verbal, sexual abuse, and past life stuff, premortal. So nothing's off limits as far as what I work on. Any kind of trapped energies of any kind, negative energies. So if you've got abandonment energy, if you've been through awful divorce for your parents or a bad breakup with a boyfriend or girlfriend, like I said, like I handle all of that with every client. So all things that we could possibly go through. So,
it's really effective stuff.
I love my job.
Yeah. Julie, I don't know if you were planning on announcing this, but I've been going through the podcast book number 5 and getting ready to publish that again.
Oh yeah.
And I'm finding it's really enjoyable to go through and read those again. And I'm finding as I do so, it has this elevating effect on my mood and my emotions. So it really is like a session for me to go through those. So,
Yeah.
people have that to look forward to, the next book or two, for podcast series, and they can always go back and listen to those. They really are energy sessions. You've said that often, but now that I'm
There.
actually going
Yeah.
back and revisiting them, I do feel the lift that comes from those. So
Yeah. Thanks, Eric. I appreciate you saying that. Yeah. Each of those Julie Rose show, even the Eyes Open videos are like energy sessions, but specifically the Julie Rose show, if you go back through those are essentially free energy sessions for people. So I'm glad you brought that up, different topics that are on there. And so we've got 4 books that are out from podcasts. Eric we've had people that were so kind several months ago last year that helped us transcribe all the podcasts up on Julie Rose show. And so we've got more podcast books coming out. Eric and I just decided this week it's time to release number 5 and then 6. We'll have 5 and 6 available on Amazon sometime in the next month or two. We haven't decided when, but definitely for January 30th, I want both of those books available. And I'm going to tell you honestly, I've been resisting this with updating my biography, Rising Above the Flames. We've had another title given for several years from the very beginning, and a different cover, as well as adding to and updating since that book came out in 2017. I've been resisting it. The spirit kind of keeps nagging me, and so I'm almost ready to commit, Eric.
pretty gutsy. You just went on live saying this to the
Oh,
public, so you kind of got to follow through now.
no.
You're committed.
Okay. I don't know when in 2021. I'd like to say I'll have it done by January 2021, January 30th, 21. But that means I would have no Christmas vacation.
Right.
And I had my birthday's January 6th. And I just, if I write that, then I have to remember all this Chad Daybell shit. I just
Yeah,
spoke on a
you said that.
podcast. What is happening to me?
Julie, it's a little inappropriate, don't you think?
Well, you know me, I'm always trying to help people clear energy. Don't shame me, people. If you shame me, you got your own shame. One way you know if you have shame energy to release is if you shame other people. Did you know that, Eric?
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
I didn't
So
know that, but I believe it.
Yeah, so anybody shaming me right now, just turn that and see where you need to release that shame.
Yeah.
Such a disappointment. Should be such a disappointment. I want to say so many more words right now because I'm so sick and tired of the dark side and what they do. I just want to be like, I'm gonna go off. So I can't even promise what's gonna happen January 30th. It's all off the cuff.
I have a feeling it's going to be a pretty good show. So if you guys are looking for some fun, this would be a good one to go to.
I mean, I'm just saying some people have accused me of being dramatic, Eric.